Phaishonne Dancy presents Hoover Girls.
Obliviousness of one's former self is a must at Loxaville. Achievement of this mindset is proof that a girl is fully prepared to move forward with a forever family. Loxaville is a temporary home for girls. It is run by 3 identical sisters, known as the Mothers. Their job is to help the girls forget everything that happened in their former lives. No matter how happy, no matter how harsh, former lives hold no value and must be forgotten. Forgetting is a necessity that allows a girl to discover who she is truly meant to be. In most cases, this is the best gift a girl can be given. But every now and again, the mothers are met with a rare breed of girl who refuses to comply. Such a girl simply cannot make logic of this far-fetched state of mind. No such girl has ever been placed in a forever home. Ash, Cam and Kara sat in the hallway of their stately Cahaba village home. The old neighborhood was famed for its huge houses with tiny yards. Kara, the youngest of the 3 sisters, tossed a ball almost high enough to reach the ceiling. She scrambled to grab 4 of the 16 jacks scattered neatly on the floor. To her surprise, Kara had time to manipulate the pieces with her fingers before the ball bounced. The rule of the game is to catch the ball with the hand that held the jacks without dropping any of them before the ball bounces a second time. She was sure that she would be successful this time. She loosened her fingers just before she caught the ball. 2 jacks fell from her hand. No. Why is this happening to me? Kara wailed. It's called puberty, Ash, the eldest sister, teased. Mom will explain it to you, added Cam. That's not funny, Kara complained. You are too excited, Ash explained in her serious voice. That is why you always lose. Now give me the ball. Ash, Cam, Kara, their mother finally called, you can come in now. The girls had been waiting for their parents to share a big secret. They rushed to the basement. There was a hole in the wall. The hole was slowly closing. Don't get too close, Mr. Hoover warned. His voice was strange, as if he were having trouble breathing. What is it? Asked Ash. Science, said Mr. Hoover proudly. Your father is on to something, Mrs. Hoover said with just as much pride. Mr. Hoover took a deep, thoughtful breath and chose his words carefully. My colleagues all laughed at my theory. There are portals all over our planet. With careful manipulation, we can travel to any destination on Earth in only a matter of seconds. That was a mouthful, said Kara, trying out the phrase of the day. I expect you girls to treat what you learn here as a family secret. You must never trust anyone on Earth with what I am about to share with you. The girls, eager to learn more, promised to keep their father's secret. Don't be alarmed, their mother said when Mr. Hoover removed the lid from a shiny black box. Cash camera, a silky-voiced shadowy figure exclaimed as it rose from the depths of the box. A cat? Asked Kara. A talking cat that sparkles, Cam corrected. A talking cat that speaks gibberish, observed Ash. I am Slink, the cat-like creature uttered. Nice to meet you, Slink. My name is Ash. Would you like to be my pet? Kara asked eagerly. She is no pet, Mr. Hoover said. Slink is a warrior. She protected me the last time I portaled. Portaled? Asked Kara. Weren't you listening? Asked Ash. It's travel by way of a portal. I am from Lickenpaw. I must return. After I am gone, it is imperative that you close all earthly portals, Slink warned. The world as you know it has its share of evils, none of which can compare to what you might encounter in a veiled region of Earth. Not to mention, there is no way for you to control where a portal might take you. I understand your concerns, Slink, said Mr. Hoover. Rest assured, I will help you get back to Lickenpaw. The portal was inches from closing completely when a screeching sound came through. They followed us, Mr. Hoover shouted. He ran over and covered the hole with both hands. I don't understand. We were cloaked when we portaled. Slink's big green eyes were heavy. Portaling and adjusting to their part of the world had taken most of her energy. She sank back into the box. Kara screamed at the sight of what was happening to her dad. Beams of light ripped gaping holes through his hands. The pain caused him to faint. He fell to the floor. The portal closed. Mr. Hoover had protected them, but he had paid a terrible price. Mrs. Hoover ran over and knelt beside him. "Charles?" Mr. Hoover did not answer. "Is he?" Kara did not finish her sentence. Her tears fell on her dad's face and his eyes opened. "Dad," she cheered with relief. "You're alive." Ash was first to notice something about their dad. "Something's wrong," she warned. She took Kara's hand and backed away. Cam had noticed it too. She followed her sisters towards the staircase. Their dad's eyes had opened, but his body was motionless. "Where are you off to?" "To portal is to forget you are a mere mortal," croaked a vile-sounding voice. That was not their dad's voice, but the girls were certain that it had come from his body. The girls stopped and turned when they reached the stairs. "Mom," called Ash, "come with us." Mrs. Hoover did not respond. She did not move a muscle. It appeared that something terrible had happened to her as well. "Your parents are no longer of this world. They belong to the innermost veil," the voice said. "Join them and know all eternal things." Kara started walking towards her parents with her hands extended. She pleaded for them to leave the basement. "Your parents are very much aware. They can still see you and hear you. They have found true happiness. They are on a journey of livelihood. They want you to come along." Kara took a few more steps toward her parents. "It's not safe," Slink whispered as loudly as she could. "Run." Slink's words echoed and bounced around the room.
Run.
Cracks
Run.
formed on the walls and it seemed the whole house would soon crumble. Ash and Cam pulled Kara back and raced for the stairs. The lights flickered. The crumbling of the walls worsened. The floor became soft, and their feet sank. When the girls finally made it to the top rung of the staircase, they turned for a final look at their parents. Mr. and Mrs. Hoover were standing, but they did not seem to be in control of their bodies. They held hands and pointed to the girls. As beams of light flashed from their parents' hands, the girls ran into the hallway. Ash locked the basement door. "We have to call for help," she said. When Ash turned around, Kara was lying on the floor. The collar of her shirt had a red stain on it. Cam was kneeling beside Kara. The sleeve of Cam's blouse had a red stain as well. The stain grew bigger by the second. "You were hit? How?" Ash wondered aloud. Ash thought for a second. Her sisters were perfectly fine when they were standing on the stairs. She was certain that they were fine when they left the basement. She had been the last to leave. How could they have been hit without her knowing it? She was right behind them. The stain on Cam's shirt grew even bigger. Her injury was serious. She dropped to the floor next to Kara. Ash pulled her phone from her pocket and dialed. "Hello?" Her voice trembled. "Hello?" No one answered, but Ash was sure someone had picked up. She could clearly hear someone breathing on the other end. "My family is in trouble," she said. "There's a cat thing in the basement," she started, unsure how much information she needed to share. The breathing on the other end remained heavy and steady. "Something came out of the wall," Ash said. "My sisters were shot." Her phone fell from her hand and crashed to the floor. Blood trickled from the right side of her neck. She too had been hit. Deafening pounding of drums from an unknown source played as she faded into unconsciousness and dropped to the floor. When Ash woke, her vision was blurred. When she attempted to sit up, she found that her hands were cuffed to the rails of a narrow bed. "Where am I?" she called. The door flew open. A nurse rushed in, apologizing as she made her way over to remove the cuffs. "Sweet, troubled girl," she said softly, "we were afraid you might hurt yourself. You had quite a story to tell when you arrived." It's perfectly all right. Such an imagination is to be admired. Where are my sisters? Your sisters are just down the hallway. When the officers are done with their questions, you will be reunited. My parents. Have you seen them? Calm yourself, dearest. Your parents are here. They are fine. Just a little memory loss. You may leave, Ms. The nurse knew that the statement was more of a command rather than a suggestion. Yes, Sergeant, she said quietly after removing the other cuff and patting Ash's hand. Ash sat up when the officer walked over to the bed. Where are my sisters? She asked. Answer my question and I will answer yours. What happened tonight? Something came through the wall in our basement and hurt our parents. Each of the girls told the same story, but Mr. and Mrs. Hoover had no injuries. The officer assumed the girls were trying to protect their parents. When can I see my parents? Ash asked with a bit of aggression. Soon enough, the officer assured her. The officer left and another nurse escorted Cam and Kara into the room. She assured the girls that they would leave soon. Mr. and Mrs. Hoover were being questioned in a nearby room. Neither of them had any wounds. And they claimed to have no memory of the events that took place in their basement. Furthermore, they insisted that they had no idea how the girls were injured. Decisions were made in order to protect the children. Mr. and Mrs. Hoover would be held indefinitely until the police could figure out what really happened. The girls would spend a few months in foster care. They were assured that they would return home soon and should think of their time away as a vacation. As soon as the nurse was done explaining, the door opened. Two women dressed in white dresses made of thick wool entered the room. Who are they? Asked Kara. We are the mothers. Whose mothers? Asked Cam. Come along, dears, one of them said in a sweet-sounding voice. Cam and Kara looked to Ash for approval. They are here to care for us, Ash said bravely. The girls were taken to Loxaville Girls' Home, just outside the city. Dinner was being served when they arrived. Each of the girls had a feeling that the decision to bring them there was made long before the police questioned them. Welcome, an automated voice said when they walked through the door. The three sisters held hands for safety. Ash, Cam and Kara, the automated voice continued, a beautiful future awaits you. Quite a welcome party, said Ash nervously. The girls were taken to the cafeteria and served spaghetti with meatballs. After dinner, they were taken to a room with multiple beds of various sizes. Kara chose a top bunk. Cam chose the bed with the pink pillows. Ash chose the bed with the plain white bedding because it was close to the door. The girls were happy that they were in the same room. What do you think happened to Mom and Dad? Kara asked as soon as the mothers left the room. You know what happened, said Cam. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Mom and Dad were at the hospital, said Ash. I think they were arrested. Arrested? Asked Cam. Yes. The police think they shot us. Well, we were shot, said Kara. They think Mom and Dad did it, Ash said. They did, technically, said Kara. You can't say that. Mom and Dad are in serious trouble. We have to figure this out on our own. No one believes what really happened. Don't talk about it again. Okay? Okay, agreed Kara. And you too, Cam. Remember what Dad said about the family secret? I won't say anything, Cam said. The door flung open. All three of the mothers walked in. Only one of them spoke. You girls may be here longer than we thought. Tomorrow, you will have separate rooms. The lights went out and the door gently closed when the last mother left the room. I hope I get a pink room, Cam said to make the best of the situation. I want a purple room, said Kara. Or maybe baby blue. Listen, Ash said, no matter what, do not talk about what happened tonight. Okay, said Cam with major attitude. I won't ever talk about the night our parents tried to kill us. You know that's not what happened, snapped Ash. Kara started crying. Look what you've done. She's always crying. It's not my fault, said Cam. Loxaville serves a noble purpose. The automated voice spoke again. This time, it was softer and even more welcoming than before. You are here to find what the future has in store for you. It will be wonderful. Rest well, knowing tomorrow is just a step closer to your future. Kara was calmed by the words. Her tears dried quickly. She smiled and drifted off to sleep. Cam fell asleep a few minutes later. Ash spent most of the night thinking about her parents. She fell asleep just before the sun came up. Far earlier than they had expected, the girls woke to the curtains being pulled open. Are you one of the mothers? Kara asked, looking over at the slender woman standing by the window. A mother, the stranger responded with a wink. Most certainly not. I am finally in my true form. Even so, I thought you would recognize me. Not so much time has passed since your father introduced us. I, my dear, am Slink. Slink. Kara ran over and hugged her friend. I knew you would come. You knew? Questioned Cam. I heard her last night, said Kara. You were dreaming, said Ash. I still heard her. She said I am the key. Hey, said Cam, I had the same dream. What about you, Ash? Kara asked. Did Slink come to your dreams? This one is quite the protector. She spent most of the night watching over the two of you. How did you find us? Asked Ash. The world is flawed. Your father's portal allows anyone from the innerverse to pile in. But my dad closed the portal. I saw him, she said. That is how your mortal brain perceived the occurrences. Your father discovered a way to open portals and pass freely about them. No mortal can completely close a portal alone. It takes immense powers to close a portal from this side. How did you get in? Asked Ash. Slink had no time to waste answering frivolous questions. Your parents have left this world. I've come to help you get them back, she said. Now hurry. Get back into bed, she instructed. Are you leaving us? Kara asked before climbing up to the top bunk. I wouldn't think of it, replied Slink with a wide grin. A marvelous portal that sparkled as bright as the sun opened right in front of the window. The girls were fascinated that the glaring light did not hurt their eyes. I need you to concentrate. Imagine the front door of your house is open. Then imagine walking through. As soon as the thought entered their minds, the girls found themselves on their front porch. The door opened and there was Slink. Now that's how you portal, exclaimed Ash. The girls walked inside. I feel tingly, said Kara. We must be dreaming, Cam said. Your father felt the same way when he portaled. Things work differently when you portal, explained Slink. You are here, but remnants of you remain in the location from which you portaled. For a short time, the mothers will have no idea that you are gone. Cool, remarked Cam. The rest of you will catch up soon enough, said Slink. Another portal, not nearly as bright as the dream portal, opened in front of them. Kara started towards it. Not so fast. Slink warned. We're about to portal to other realms. And that requires special powers. Did you forget that we are little girls from Earth? Asked Kara. The charms you wear will enable you to cross vast worlds beyond your own. More importantly, they will enable you to close the portal after we rescue your parents. Slink touched each of the charms that the girls wore. When she did so, they glowed. After they entered the portal, Slink explained that using their charms was as simple as making a wish. I wish we were all in the basement with Mom and Dad, said Kara right away. Cam paused, then responded, it didn't work. It only works when the three of you agree with the wish. Superpower must have checks and balances, explained Slink. Ash and Cam were certain that they knew exactly what to do. I agree, said Ash. I agree, said Cam. Mr. and Mrs. Hoover appeared in front of them. They looked the same as when they were in the basement. You're back. Kara yelled. In a few seconds, the basement formed itself around them. The floor quickly became squishy. The walls started crumbling. The roof disappeared. And the sand in the sandbox turned black. "What's wrong?" asked Ash. "We all agreed that we return home." "One of you was compromised," Slink revealed. "Compromised?" asked Ash. "A hitcher, compromised the wish." The girls did not understand. "Should we make another wish?" asked Ash. "No," Slink warned. "Another wish before the portal is closed will allow a vast number of hitchers into your realm." "What is a hitcher?" asked Kara. "A hitcher attaches itself to a portal at the very last moment. That way, it is almost undetectable." "Where is it?" Kara asked. She moved as if something might be on her back. "Your hitcher should be along momentarily," Slink said, looking directly at Cam. Cam was surprised. "My hitcher?" "In a sense," said Slink. "You allowed your mind to wander when the wish was made." "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." "You did nothing wrong," Slink assured the girls. "It will take some time to fully master the power given to you. We're out of time. Listen carefully. The hitcher will." Before Slink could finish her sentence, a shadowy figure oozed its way through the open portal. It smelled like rotted meat. The girls covered their noses, trying not to inhale the odor. Slink returned to her shadowy form. She exuded an aroma of fresh lemons. "It is up to you now, Cash Camera," shouted Slink just before her transformation was complete. The beautiful form of Slink surrounded that of the ugly hitcher and effortlessly ushered it back through the portal. The girls wished the portal closed. The sand in the sandbox turned white again. The roof reappeared. The walls and the floor returned to normal. Then the hallway just outside the basement door formed around them. The jacks were scattered on the floor and the little pink ball hovered a few feet above the floor. Kara plucked the ball from the air. "I'm going first, next game," she insisted. "Ash, Cam and Kara," Mrs. Hoover called, "you can come in, now." Cam opened the basement door slowly. "Come in," said Mrs. Hoover. The girls walked over. Their parents were back to normal. Mr. Hoover was holding the black box. "Slink?" asked Kara hopefully. Mr. Hoover opened the box. "Your father is in the wish-granting business," said Mrs. Hoover. The girls expected to see a shadowy figure rise from the box. Then Mrs. Hoover reached in and gently brought out a cute kitten. "Can we keep her?" asked Kara. "You can keep her as long as you promise to take care of her," said Mr. Hoover. The girls were excited about getting a new pet. They were even more excited that things had returned to a state of normalcy.